Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Today we'll see Standard 6th and subject Social Science. In that, chapter number 2. Chapter name is Journey from Primitive Man to Settled Life. In the previous video, we have seen up to main 5. Today we'll see main 6. Give the historical reasons of the following statement. Number 1. Primitive man lived in natural caves. Answer is, in the earlier time, primitive man lived a nomadic life. They used to find places where they found the animals like deer, sheep, and goats and water. Thus, they stayed in good and large places where stones, wood, and water were found. Here, they lived in a natural caves to protect themselves from animals and rain. Now, see the number 2. The use of fire led to the revolutionary change in the life of the primitive man. Answer is, the use of fire brought about revolutionary change in the life of primitive man. After the discovery of fire, primitive man started using fire in their activities described below. Number 1. For roasting meat of the prey animals. Number 2. For lighting up their cave. Number 3. To scare away the wild animals by lighting fire in front of the cave. Number 4. To get protection from cold. Now see the number 3. Primitive man's time is called the Stone Age. Answer is, the life of primitive man means lived the life of hunters and gatherers. Was associated with a stone. Their implements and weapons were made stone form. Their caves were also made of stone. Thus, primitive man were associated with the stone technology. So, their time is called the Stone Age. Now, see the main 7. Answer the following questions briefly. Number 1. Which implements did primitive man make? Where did they use those implements? Answer is, primitive man made implements of stone, wood and bones. They used the stone implements to cut the vegetations and to scrape the skin of animals. They also made to cover their body from the skin. They used to make farming implements like spade or hoe, chisel, sickle, etc. from stones. Now see the number 2. What impacts were seen in the life of a primitive man with the change in atmosphere? Write 4 points. Answer is, impacts were seen in the life of a primitive man with the change in the atmospheres are as follows. The herbivorous animals were useful to primitives in many ways, so they started to study their behavior. Due to the changing climate, grains like wheat, barley, millet, bajra, etc. were grown with the grass, trees, and vegetation. Finding such crops useful, they started to grow their grains after collecting them with curiosity. Thus, it was the beginning of agriculture. After the beginning of farming, primitive man started to live in the houses made up of mud and other materials around their farms. Now see the number 3. State the activities of primitive man after they started to live a settled life. Answer is, the activities of primitive man after they started to live a settled life are as follows. To grow grains at place where water is available, to make the earthen pots or small barns for storing the collected grains. Number 3. To collect the grains, fruits, meat and fish for food. Number 4. To make farming implements like spade or hoe, chisel, sickle, etc. Number 4. How did primitive man use animals? Answer is, when primitive man lived the life of hunters and gatherers, they hunted animals like deer, sheep, and goats and used them as a food. They used their skin to cover their body. They made friends with animals. The dog became the first companion. They made some animals as their pet. As a result, the cattle rearing activities were started. Main 8. Answer the following question. Why did the need for settled life arise? Answer is the primitive man led initially nomadic life in search of food. About 12,000 years ago, wide changes in the atmosphere around the world led to the vegetation and grassroots regions. As a result, gradually the activities of agriculture and animal husbandry started. Places could not be left due to agriculture because it takes time to grow crops. They need water. After harvesting, plants have to be cut off and grains have to be removed from them. For this process, one has to stay in one place. Grains such as wheat, barley, and millet become useful food for primitive man. He started to plan animal husbandry. Thus, the need for settled life arose due to agriculture and animal husbandry. Now, we will see the new chapter in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy. Okay, bye.